I'm Caroline.
And I'm Phil.
And Phil's very short.
Yes. Do you ever have those days when you feel short?
He definitely looks short, doesn't he?
I'm having a day when I may be 6 foot, but I'm feeling short. So I thought I'd start the show here and see if, as the evening goes on, perhaps I'll get taller.
I think you better lift yourself up now. You look very out of proportion there.
I feel grounded.
So thank you everyone for joining us in our happy hour. It's a mudlarking happy hour, but you haven't even got to be a mudlarker. As long as you want to be happy and you've got an hour spare, then this is the place to be.
And it could be more than an hour tonight because we owe you all for last week, which was an unmitigated disaster.
It was terrible. We spent ages getting it ready.
I think we have to admit that the only negative we found on our 6-day location for a vacation was the upload of the download speed was brilliant.
Yes, no
we could download anything. But as happens quite often in hotels and other places, it was the same at this particular venue. They had put a greater download speed because they think, well, people don't want to upload.
No. How many people go live from their holiday? So that was a bit of a disaster. So apologies to anybody who tried watching last week. It didn't end well.
I'm hoping we've got sound. I'm hoping we've got picture. I'm hoping we're not juddering because I haven't got a clue because I'm not on yet. I'm still loading up. I'm having one of them short days. I'm just behind with everything. So hopefully nobody's saying, I can't hear you.
So let's have a look. As I've said before, I know I'm trying to get everything ready. My green screen cracked up. Well, my green screen didn't, but the computer...
I just turned me off talking on you. I'm on, folks. I'm on, and there's 95 watching at the moment.
But we're on air. Everything seems to be working, so I can calm down now. And our first 3 people in. First in was Adam's Advanced Adventures. Well done, Adam. Followed within seconds by Karen Upfold, and then Bernadette Bueno. So well done, you 3, for being the first 3 into our live show. And I noticed later on, Adam said he actually sets his timer for 2 minutes to 10 to, so that he can be first in. Quick thinking, Adam.
Oh, somebody's just noticed we're in black. Did you notice we're in black?
Well, I knew I'd put black on. I didn't think.
No.
I coordinated.
Actually, Caroline said to me about a minute and a half ago, or at least about 30 seconds, we had a minute to go on the countdown, and she said, "Are you ready, dear? Because you're still in your dressing gown." So, because I tend to go around the house in my dressing gown.
Yes, it wasn't that he hadn't got out of bed.
So I took my dressing gown off, and I thought, do you know what? This looks all right. So it wasn't very planned.
No.
But we coordinate.
Yes, but we don't, because you're so short. Pick your
I
stool
know,
up.
but
It's
what says you can't be the tall person in this relationship? I'm not the tall person today. I'm the short person.
There we go.
Is there anyone else out there anyone else out there having a short day? Woo!
Well, I think that's too high, is it?
That's no problem. I like it down here.
It's going to be a long show.
I like it. I want to be near the floor. But I can't fall off the floor. There we go. Up. How's that?
Well, it's lovely to see you all in, and thank you for joining us. And I think it's time for us to have some... I really can't speak tonight. I've had so much going on. It's time for us to have some fun. So we'll start off. Should we start with a question?
I don't mind. Put it this way. I've got 10 questions tonight.
All right, let's start with a question.
Because we're covering 2 videos. Remember now, folks, we're covering the finds on the mountaintop, which was a week yesterday, and we're covering Aberporth, where we've been staying, which was yesterday's.
Yes, right.
Here we Okay. You'll remember, perhaps, 2 weeks ago, my accent. Not quite from the Bronze Age, or I don't think a Viking ever struck a blow with it.
Why? You never know.
And I get the feeling it was used more as to split logs, because that's definitely been well and truly hammered on the back there. But cute little accent, and you can see this. I suspect that this was, well, I know this was made at a forge. I'm sure it was, because can you see the hammer mark just there? If I turn it, you might catch it. You can see a hammer mark where it was beaten on the forge. So possibly made at a local forge, possibly made quite a long time ago, possibly made at a colliery, because we had our own forges there, and the boys used to make all sorts. But you, having shown you that, is a question somewhat loosely
See, it's catching.
We haven't been drinking, honest. Loosely related to mudlarking, in as much as it's related to an axe. The farthest throw of an axe is 21.876 metres, that's 71 feet. Right, 71 feet. And if you want to be exact, 9¼ inches. It was achieved by Christopher Watson on the 14th of April 2018. In which country does Mr. Watson achieve his record-breaking, world record, Guinness Book of Records, throw of an axe that was over 71 feet? In which country?
Right, if you keep eye on the answers, now there's a little bit of chat going on about height in you. Sarah said, I never have a short day, I'm 5'11". And Lynn Bean said, I'm short anyway, all of 4'10". Is anybody? Oh, I saw somebody is 4'11". Jan Envich is 4'11". I'm 5'1" and 3/4. Now 3/4 is very important when you're only 5'1". So.
I'm 6 foot and feeling shorted all the time. It's me age. I'll start to shrink now. I'm 60 in a month's time, so it's actually a month today.
Oh, yes.
1 month and counting, and I'll be a pensioner.
You will.
Whee! That's the way to do it.
Right, have you got some answers?
We've got answers coming in. We've got answers coming in, my dear. We certainly have, yes. And we've got some correct answers too.
Ooh, always good to have some correct answers.
It is
have a
indeed.
Sneaky look.
Yes, indeed.
I did have a guess at this one, got it completely wrong.
We've had America, and which I can see where they come from. There, Scotland, because of course they're always throwing things up there, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. That
they toss the caber, don't they? Things like
they
that.
do have the Highland Games, including tossing the caber and many other things, and it could well have been as part of that. But this is a country renowned for its logging and its industry surrounding that. And first correct answer, Cody Roberts.
Oh, well done, Cody.
Canada. Quickly followed by Antoinette and Christina, who both got Canada just after her, but Cody's in first.
Well done.
Canada is where Mr. Watson set his world record of 71 feet, 9 1/4 inches, throwing an axe. I don't know if it had to hit anything.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Or whether it just had to go the distance. But if you think about it, that's a fair old pace, isn't it?
It is.
Because an axe is not the most aerodynamic thing. It is relying on
I
force
suppose
and
it
weight.
depends if you've got a long, it wasn't just the head. So I suppose if you can get the swing right, it'll propel itself a little bit.
I dare say it was a bit bigger than that.
I was never any good at physics.
But hopefully you like my axe head. That's our first question sorted. Do you have a find, dear?
I do.
No.
I've got a bowl full of signs here.
I'll be back. Caroline's just going to show you some finds. I'll only be a
going down?
moment. I'll only be a moment. I've got something to fetch.
Right. Well, the first thing I'm going to show you then is this golf ball. Now, it's a bit of a strange thing to show you. It's just a golf ball. But I never knew what was inside a golf ball. And if you have a look, it's just white. Now, I know squash balls, they are really packed tightly elastic. But this is quite solid. I suppose it'd have to be, otherwise you'd hit your golf ball and it would bounce for miles, wouldn't it, if it was like a squash ball? Are they hollow? I know they were very squidgy, and people used to try to play to warm the balls up. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you this because I just thought that was interesting. The things you learn when you're out mudlarking. I now know what the inside of a golf ball looks like.
Hello.
Right, shall I do another find?
Yes, carry on, dear.
Right, I'll do another find. I've got this bottle top, which is Phillips and Sons Limited Newport Brewers 4/29. So what's that it was made in April 1929? See if I can get it to... No, we're showing Phil's face. Come on. No, it doesn't want to show you. It's shy. But anyway, that's what it says. So that was a really nice find, and completely by surprise. I was bending down, as many of you seen on the video, trying to show foxgloves, and I thought, wow. So I was glad I stopped to look at the foxgloves now, because I got myself a vulcanite bottle top.
Yes, and at the time, did you say that, have you seen what's on it now, where it's from?
Yes, but you were gone. You
No,
disappeared.
I was gone.
I don't know where you went.
Yes, because at one point we thought we had somebody from the Yorkshire area had moved down, because you thought that was Sheffield when you were out. And my bottle, which you'll have a look at in a few moments, definitely was from that part of the world. It was from Selby, and we were starting to think perhaps someone from Yorkshire had come down, perhaps visiting family and brought some things along. But no, that one was more local, I think, wasn't it?
I see Crafty Caravan says, where's Mo tonight? Do I remember you saying that last week as well? Because last week everything was playing up, so I didn't get to read the chat very much. But I hope Mo's okay. And let's have a look. Cody said there was once fluid inside wrapped in rubber bands.
I remember rubber bands. I thought I remembered rubber bands, but I didn't say it in case I sounded stupid.
Yes, Derek's in. Thank you, Derek. He said rubber bands. And
well done, Derek.
Pleasant Valley Pickers, I think it was, said axe throwing competitions do happen.
They do.
There we go.
Yeah, we used to have them in Factory Road when I was a kid, but it was only me and my brothers, and we were generally throwing them at each other. Yes. But much to my mother's displeasure, as she would be shouting at us and telling us off. But yes, we used to have... I was saying to my brother earlier today, I was chatting to him on the phone, and I said it was a very different world when we were kids. It was, because we were riding motorbikes at 14 on dirt tracks at the side of the road, and they were just dilapidated things. We'd build ramps to jump over, we'd stick a battery on and wire them up ourselves, didn't have a key for it or nothing, just have a bit of fun. We used to have old cars dumped on the roadside that we turned into camps. It was a very different world. We used to carry guns. we did, we had pellet guns. Every kid had a pellet gun in the 70s.
Rubber Banshee, thank you so much. You got a $5 super chat.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And a big thank you for anybody who wasn't here during the countdown because Tom Burley gave us a £10 super chat as well. So thank you both of you. We really appreciate that.
That's lovely.
Really, thank you so much. It's really kind of you.
Yeah, that's lovely. Oh, our thumbs down person's got company. They brought a friend.
Oh, right.
We normally get one right at the beginning. We've had two people. Way, that's great. It's nice to know that people are not on their own in these trying times.
It is.
That even the people who give us thumbs down have got company. I wouldn't like to think of them as being lonely. But anyway, to get back to whatever it was we're supposed to be doing, why I nipped off, well, it was twofold.
Oh, yes, the big reveal.
But have you noticed? Have you noticed?
Look at Phil in profile. What can you see?
Have you noticed? Look. These are the same glasses. But I had this pair of glasses as well, and the lenses in these, they only cost £1 each. But the lenses in these no longer really do it for me. I can't see with those. So I took the arms off those and put them on these and made a pair of glasses. Now that sounds good, except within minutes of doing that, I lost this pair of glasses. I couldn't find them anywhere. They ended up under a suitcase. Now, how do you put a pair of glasses under a suitcase, eh?
Wasn't me.
And I can't blame the wife. She didn't leave her room. So I ended up going round with a pair of glasses that didn't actually work.
Pants me without the pants.
And I thought I was actually going to turn up tonight and I'd be sitting here looking through a fog and having to sit here with no arms on my glasses, which Caroline found very amusing at the time, which is fine until you go like that. And then you lose it, then it all changes, you see. But there we are. Bit of ingenuity. I did glue the old arm together. It lasted 2 days and fell off. So there we go, folks. Me glasses are repaired.
Lexi said Phil is no longer Jack Duckworth. Lisa said, yes, as kids we used to collect and cut up golf balls. Lived across from a golf course. A hard red rubber ball inside wrapped with rubber bands.
I knew it. I was so sure the rubber bands was right. But I was scared to say it because... I don't only have short days. I have some short days when I'm feeling very short, but I have other days when I'm just feeling I don't think I'm right. I question everything. So I didn't say rubber bands, but now I'll join you all and say, yes, I knew rubber bands as well. I just wasn't sure.
A rubber band, she said you could have put a little stick on you and you could have looked posh,
yes.
like they did in the courts of Louis the Sun King, wasn't it?
That's definitely on my to-do list through the winter. Yes, definitely. There we go.
Right then.
How about that? Like being at the opticians, you know. No. But on the other hand, you know, there's days when maybe that would be a good idea. You know, I could just go through the whole day and nothing would trouble me because I can't focus. No. I know it's all, gosh, things look big. They don't look distinct, but they look very big. That shelf is huge. Right, I'm taking them off before I get double vision.
Oh, I'm a stick said, let's go with the Johnsons. What other mudlarking channels do you watch and like? Now, that's a very difficult question to answer because at the moment we get hardly any time to watch YouTube videos, so it's really frustrating.
We managed to catch Docking Bay 51.
And we missed those tonight.
Right.
Sorry about that.
All right, we managed to catch Docking Bay 51 except tonight. Now, I said that. And I was about to say, what night are they on? Because we haven't seen them recently.
It was tonight.
It was tonight. We had one of those nights, okay? But we usually try to watch the premiere there. We've caught 1 or 2 premieres with the Scottish Mudlarkers. James, who I believe is on tonight. I try to keep up with James and watch some of his videos. But we've also got Tom. And then, of course, everyone will know Kitten Caboodlers and... the Northern Mudlarkers.
And they got the Kentish Mudlarkers.
And then we've got the Kentish Mudlarkers. We're a new couple that I've been watching.
Bottle Digging with Kyle we watch sometimes.
Yeah, and they're very much like us. So we dip into quite a few channels and try to keep up with what's happening and try to support things that are on, such as premieres and things. But as Caroline said, to be honest, my hope is to be able to step down on some of the things I do and do more with YouTube because we love doing YouTube, but life can get busy, you know. Little things come up, like one of my children needing to borrow the car, so I had to get the car ready so they could borrow that because they've got to do some runs and they don't have a car at the moment. And at the same time having to get Bristol to one of the other children because they needed certain medicines, and of course they're in lockdown, so I had to go on my own, so I had to travel to Bristol today. So many things happened that weren't on the agenda, as well as us both running businesses, as well as running 2 YouTube channels, because I've got a YouTube channel and I have not actively been involved in that for a 12-month. I just haven't had time to do my own YouTube channel.
No.
In fact, I've got 2 out there. I've got one from when I was in ministry, PJ Talks, but my Phil Johnson YouTube channel that I do, I have not had the time to go on there in a year. So I don't even watch myself. But yeah, there's quite a number of mudlarkers that we really enjoy.
I'm a stick said yes, there. Nicola White, Cy Fines.
Yeah. And who's the chap that goes to France and he does metal detecting?
Oh,
Chill Bill, is it?
Chilly Billy.
Chilly Billy.
Chill Bill.
Yeah, Billy Chilly. Chill Bill.
I haven't seen him for ages.
Of course, our
Richard Emery is really good. Richard Emery goes to the... Is it Emery or Hemery? I'm not sure.
For knowledge of pottery and stuff, you can't beat Richard.
Oh, he's really intelligent.
We actually bought his book because we were so impressed with the knowledge he's got. And of course, the one we haven't mentioned, who was one of our sort of inspirations in this line, and that was the Chig.
Oh yes, first person I ever found, because I'd heard of magnet fishing, so I went on and I found a video of the Chig saying how to magnet fish. And then I saw his other videos were recommended, and I'm like, whoa, he finds shells from the... Which war?
The Civil War.
That is the Civil War.
Yeah, the American Civil War, not our Civil War. No, the Americans. We didn't fight our Civil War in America. They fought their own.
He's got hundreds of the things, and he just has a lot of fun. But he's in an area where you can find that sort of thing. We did find one musket ball in a local river by the bridge that they filmed Merlin at.
Yes, we did. That was fantastic.
And we went there. All the time we've been.
And the history story I was telling was about the Civil War, because the Civil War was linked to that area in Wales, not far from you. And to find the musket ball that day was brilliant. We were looking for iron because there'd been an ancient foundry there, isn't there, from the 1600s. And it was fantastic that we can, oh, it's not a musket ball. No, it's not a musket ball. Come on, here, it is a musket ball.
Yes,
and everyone said, it is a musket ball.
Yes,
you just don't want to believe it.
That's right.
But
Crafty Caravan has said, we like your channel so much we have ditched I'm a Celebrity tonight to watch you guys. Oh, thank you. Oh, we do have high status in your household then.
So, we've had several comments that when we said we were coming from a mystery location last week, people thought we were going to turn up on I'm a Celebrity. But we're not that famous yet. But we are still hoping to hit the 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We've got to get another almost just over 250. But, it's all things considered, we may make it yet. So if you know anybody or if you don't like them or like them, if they're your friends or not, just, force them to subscribe and we'll be happy.
Jenny said the Chig also did a series called River Hunters.
Yes.
I think he's been over in the summer to film the second series. Yes, and we know because we went to interview him when he came over for the first River Hunters filming.
Yeah, that's one of our early videos.
Yes.
Is on our old camera in a very noisy restaurant where he said, come on, I can give you 20 minutes. And 2.5 hours later, I had to say, we're going to have to go now. We've got to drive back from London to Wales.
Lovely man.
He was fantastic. We just couldn't get from there. He was just so
Well, we were all enjoying
great.
it. There's so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
And he's got such an interesting history. There's an interesting thing about it in there about his wedding certificate. So if you go and check out our video interviewing the Chig, it's a little bit frustrating because we thought we were going somewhere quiet and he took us into a restaurant
and in fairness,
and it was really
filled
noisy.
Up, didn't it?
Yes, it was quiet when we went in.
I'm just glad they didn't throw us out because we only ordered a drink and we sat in a restaurant for 2.5 hours.
So I put subtitles on it, but there's something really interesting about him and being married.
Yes, but an amazing gentleman. Something we've discovered is the same as we always say about Tom. Tom is one of the nicest, sweetest gentlemen we've ever met. There's a lot of nice people in this mudlarking world. There really is. It's a great thing to get into, and even if you're not mudlarking, I'm sure you all feel as part of the community. Somebody was saying this week about how they're on their bucket list now. One of their big ambitions is to come over to Britain and visit all the areas and meet all the mudlarkers that they've been sharing lockdown with while they've been sat watching all of us over there. That'd be quite a journey. So that would be great. If I do a little bit about this a moment, then I can do question number 2 because I got 10 questions and we're 22 minutes in.
Quick.
I hope you're all comfortable, folks. You could be here till tomorrow. There we go. Now that we were stunned at. Now we have found quite a few Fletcher's bottles. Went up with Tom, we found quite a few, and I'm sure they're the sort of thing that Tom has started stepping over now. But as somebody pointed out, what I don't recall finding is one quite like that. I think it's quite an old one. It's got Fletcher's Selby on there. It's quite small, so it probably had... He made pickles and sauces. So probably quite a potent sauce, I would have thought, to be in a bottle that size. But then you wonder, how does that get on top of a mountain in Wales? Now, one thing I can tell you, through my work, I know a lot of family stories because I meet so many families and I share their stories for them as a celebrant. A lot of people from Yorkshire did move to Wales. Strangely enough, a lot of people from Wales moved to Yorkshire. Now, I don't know what that was all about.
Yes.
Sometimes it was through military deployment in national service. They met people, got married and settled down. But others followed for the work. The jobs at various times, perhaps in one decade, all the work was in Wales. Then there was a lot of work. And of course, the miners could move between because their skills were transferable. But as the question will reveal, this guy's fame reached well beyond the boundaries of Yorkshire. Should we go for the question?
Okie dokie.
Joshua Percy Fletcher had established himself as a pickle manufacturer by 1901. And 2 decades later was producing millions of bottles of one of his sauces, which was known as the Tiger Indian sauce. Now, I'm wondering if that's what was in there. I don't know.
Could have been.
It was called that because the spices he used were brought over from India. So it was called the Tiger Indian sauce. But in what year did the production of his sauce move to the Selby location? When did it become Fletcher's Selby?
Right, and while you're all answering, we've got a message here from Tom. And he said, well, you say that I'm nice, but I've clicked dislike on this video about 10 times tonight for a joke and to test. Someone follows me doing it, does it too, and removes it a second after me.
Is that why we're up to 4 now?
Who is it? Who's copying Tom? Who's following him with those thumbs down?
But see, as I often say about people in my line of work, you may be mischievous, Tom, but there's no malice in you, buddy.
Right. Oh,
5 now. Look, they're all doing it now. Everybody's deciding.
yourselves.
It's gone again. They're all deciding to be naughty now. It's like Halloween all over again, yeah.
Right, well, before you get the answer as well, so you check who won.
Radio.
While I mentioned Mary Beth. Mary Beth was out for a walk in the woods and she found a little fairy door, so she sent me a photograph of it and there it is. Now, I feel silly pointing at that screen because I can't see the door there. That's just green to me, but I can see it on the screen there.
She's like a weather girl.
Oh, I am. You know, they say, oh, it will be windy down this side of the country and you can see the gales coming across this side of the country, that sort of thing.
Does people out there remember when they had the magnetic clouds?
Oh, yes.
And they used to move them around on the metal
pick
map.
them off and put it down there. The
bit of
rain is
Velcro.
moving.
And then all of a sudden it all went green screen and they didn't have a clue. They were like, yes.
So thank you, Mary Beth. It's a really brilliant picture of the little fairy door. And we are outside the fairy door tonight. So hopefully we won't disturb them. But you never know. They may pop out and say hello. Right. So
we do have a correct answer. In fact, we have 4 correct answers.
Right.
Eddie and Lexi came in 4th and 3rd. Then we had, I believe it was Antoinette came in 2nd.
Oh, who was first?
But you can guess it, folks. It's our resident gentleman from Yorkshire, Mr. Tom Burley.
Well done, Tom.
He distracted you all with your thumbs down while he ran off to Google it.
Naughty.
And it's the sort of thing that Tom may well have known because he does give a lot of information on the things he finds. But the Selby factory was opened in 1915, 14 years after they began production of their sauces and pickles. There we go.
I can see Eddie's entrance. It reminds me of Eddie Kay. I'm pretty sure you asked, are we going to do any more metal detecting videos? I still have my metal detector, but we just can't get any decent permissions. The one we have got, we found a few horseshoes and nothing really else.
We found a few horseshoes and an halfpenny.
Oh, and a plough end.
Yeah. It was mainly farming stuff. There wasn't...
And fairly modern as well.
It doesn't seem to have been a main thoroughfare. Lovely people that let us use the land.
Oh, so kind of them.
And it did give us a chance to practice, but it's getting back into it. And to be honest, I prefer mudlarking. because when we're metal detecting, I follow Caroline, who's got headphones on with a shovel, and then she goes, dig there, and I dig a hole, and then she wanders off, beep, 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 beeping. I can't talk to her because she's on headphones, and then she goes, dig it, and I dig an hole. It's far more...
It's not as sociable, is it?
It's far more sort of together. You know, we have interaction and that, so... I dare say if we got the chance, we would go.
Yeah, if we could find a really good permission, then that would be great, but
and we did do
so.
one or two where we went with a group, but of course they have been abandoned at the moment.
Yes.
Because metal detecting has been put on a low key.
Plus, when we went at that point, I talked to the chick and I said, which is the best metal detector? He said, you get the most expensive one you can afford because otherwise you'll want to upgrade. So we went for the 80...
Garrett, isn't it?
Garrett 80 Max something. It's a really good one, but
it's more than I used to pay for a car when I was a boy.
But the problem is it wasn't working, and I was trying. I just getting absolutely nowhere. And another gentleman who's on the dig said, "Let me have a look at it." He picked it up. He said, "This is useless. You need to send this back." So we sent it back, and they repaired it and sent it back out again. So at least I got one that works now. But that would explain why we weren't finding much as well, because the stupid thing, it would just beep for nothing. You hold it up in the air and it would beep at the clouds. So it's fixed now.
Tell you what I'll do.
What will you
I'll
do?
throw in another bottle-related question.
Go on, then.
Because, as you know, the questions are somewhat related, but only loosely. So I'll give you another bottle-related question. And the reason I'm going to get away with putting this question in is the fact that our Selby bottle was on Bargood Mountain in a track that was made in the rain by a tractor.
Yes.
So it was a long way from home, shall we say. So here's the question. A note in a bottle was dropped from a German ship on June the 12th, 1886, as part of an experiment into shipping routes. It was found 132 years later, washed up on a beach. Which country did they find the bottle?
I have no idea. I'm going to cheat and have a look.
In which country? German ship takes a bottle. In fact, they took numerous bottles and dropped them at various places to see how the currents would carry them. It was all an experiment. It was a disaster as an experiment because I understand they never got any records back while the experiment was running. Nobody contacted them, but they put a little note in saying the date and everything else, and it was all typewritten on official paper and all the rest, and somebody found this bottle with the note in.
I'll give you a clue. It's not Andorra. I don't know any other. Oh, Switzerland. It's not Switzerland. Right, I've got your 1, 2, 3 answers. First 3 answers in were right,
Yes,
so well done.
yes.
I wouldn't have guessed.
In fact, the first 3 were correct. First 4 were correct. People were obviously going distance. 4th again, Lexi was in the top 4. All the Glitters got it. Tom Burley got it, but he's second to the missing woman that is turned up. Everybody was looking for our Mo earlier on. Yeah, Mo's back and she's at the top. Number 1, it was Australia. 132 years after they dropped it in the water, they found it. But they believe, here's an interesting point, scientists say the bottle would have arrived in Australia in 1 year. That's how long it would have taken to travel that journey. Then it got buried in the sand and took 131 years before the weather conditions blew the sand, the people walked across the beach. So folks, just because you think nothing's there doesn't mean nothing's there.
No.
It takes more than just being there to see it. As we've discovered, we're walking through the water and we see nothing. We walk back and we see something amazing. You know, and sometimes Caroline will walk straight over something, or I will, and you'll see it. But there we go. Family out playing on a beach and found a bottle that dropped in the water 132 years earlier.
Can't be bad.
Oh, I tell you, you get so much knowledge here. It's useless.
If ever you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, there could be the question. It wins you £1 million.
Quite right, quite right.
Right, I'll show you Phil's bit of a battery, wasn't it? You thought he was?
I thought, yeah. Does anyone else remember those square batteries that we used to have in torches? You'd have the lantern torch. You'd drop a square battery in.
You talk a minute.
About that size and about this big. Sometimes you had them in radios and things like that. Well, with 2 wires on the top. Well, obviously nobody else out there, I don't suppose, would have taken one apart. But I had occasion to take them apart just because I was bored as a child. and they hadn't invented computers.
We were bored by naughty.
Right, I was naughty as a child. No, it was a dead battery, so I wondered what was in there. And they had layers between the cells, which were that exact shape and size, and the layers between. So when I saw it, I thought a battery had rotted, it had fallen out. And I said to Caroline, I really thought I'd found something good here. And then I discovered it's just a cell out of a battery. It's just the dividers out of a battery. To which she replied, no, there's a pattern on it. Because my eyes are none too good without me glasses.
Sorry about the noise.
Caroline's making a noise. She's just doing a brass rubbing for you. But it turns out it definitely is, well, what we think is a buckle. It definitely has a pattern on it. It's very thin. So some people are assuming it was for decorative purposes. So rather than a buckle that would have held a belt together, possibly a buckle off a shoe. That's been something that was suggested. I think it was the Northern Mudlarkers who were among those who suggested maybe a shoe buckle. It could be. But I'm not certain. Not certain by a long shot.
Give me 1 more minute. I'll just do a little bit on the other side and I'll be with you.
You carry on, I'll show them this.
Go on then.
Do you remember that off the mountain, folks? That was well and truly wedged in and we got it out. Now, I have completely forgotten. But 4 or 5 people have told me what the little mark on the bottom is. Is it Alvis or Avis? Anybody out there know what that little A on the bottom is? A little A.
It's not Elvis, is it? It was Elvis's personal candlestick.
No, I don't think you can see that there, but I think Alvis, somebody said. I'm terrible, see, I keep forgetting things. But that's a beautiful bit of milk glass, and it seems that it would have been something quite stunning until it got thrown on a tip, smashed as pieces, and then run over by a tractor. But it still caught our eye. Bit of milk glass. There we are, love. I entertained them for you.
Thank you. Right, I've just had a useless pencil. It was a bit too hard, really, to do the rubbing. But if I show you there... Oh, it's not going to focus, is it? There, can you see there's all like swirls and things?
Bye, rubber banshee.
So it's definitely, there's like a fleur-de-lis and some feathers that are curled around. So it definitely is decorated. I'll have to get a softer pencil and do it properly, but there we go. See?
Oh, very nice.
Definitely got a pattern to it. Oh,
it does.
Bye, rubber banshee.
Yeah, because I don't know how well it can be seen directly.
It's very difficult to see like that. It just looks quite blotchy. And if I get out the way, see if that helps.
Doesn't help.
No.
It's quite green.
Yes. Oh well, we'll give up.
But that
Right.
was our buckle.
Right.
A buckle. Can I ask a buckle question?
You want go on then? You ask a buckle question.
Go on then, give me an intro.
Ooh, he wants an intro as well. I don't know. There we go.
Right, 3-part question. If you're quick, you'll know it. You shouldn't need Google for this.
Oh,
for
right.
the first part, right? 3-part question, all about buckles on shoes. In the counting nursery rhyme, which numbers are followed by buckle my shoe? Which numbers in the counting nursery rhyme that has been used in America for over 100 years and has gone around the world, which numbers are followed by buckle my shoe?
Oh, Sarah Anderson, thank you. She says, thanks for another wonderful evening, a $5 super chat.
Oh, that's very kind
of
you.
We really do
lovely.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Right then, let's have a look here. The question was, which numbers are followed by buckle my shoe? And according to my reckoning, two of our winners have got it wrong. And the
Did
first,
you ask for the 2 numbers that come
I
before?
said, which numbers
Which numbers? All right. Oh,
are followed by buckle my shoe?
So, yeah, first couple wrong.
Yes. Our fast fingers were in fast. In fact, 3 of our top answer people were top 3, but they don't get it. It's all gone to all the glitters because it's 1, 2.
Buckle
My shoe. There we go. Well done.
Oh, congratulations, all the glitters.
Right, but this is a 3-part question, so there's lots to play for you, folks. This is big money time. 1, 2, buckle my shoe
It's not knock at the door.
was used as a book title by which mystery writer? My favourite.
Oh, Lexi was too busy eating a Yorkie bar. Oh, Yorkie bars. Got me hungry now on chocolate.
Could be worse, it could have been a Toblerone. I'd have been round your house demanding a piece.
I don't like Toblerone.
Oh, that's why I eat Toblerone.
He gets up all the
If
chocolate.
Caroline doesn't want to be tempted by chocolate, I either eat Bourneville plain, Toblerone,
And Cadbury's McVitie's biscuits with the dark chocolate
with
on.
the dark chocolate.
No,
You
with the
like
milk chocolate on. I could eat a whole pack with a cup of tea, dip them in, and but dark chocolate doesn't tempt me.
Right. Ooh, dear.
Oh, so I think you find
It's there.
Yes, that's the first one.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got lots of
yeah.
answers coming in.
In fairness, Tom, you could take pride in the fact that you gave first and second name, but you were pipped to the post by Cody because Cody got Christy, Tom got Agatha Christie, Christina got Agatha, and then Mo came running in number 4. But to be honest, every single person down to Janine who said Dr. Zeus lol. That's cat in the act there. Yeah, my favourite author, Agatha Christie, wrote, and it was a Poirot one. I know that because I've watched
Every Poirot one there is.
I have watched every single Poirot. I struggle with reading because of dyslexia, but I have watched every Poirot that were done by, what's the guy's name? I always forget his name. I keep remembering.
Suchet.
Yeah. Which one was he?
I don't know.
Peter was the newsreader.
David.
Because I always get him mixed up with his brother who was the newsreader. Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic. So, don't worry, folks.
Oh, there's another part.
There's still one to come. The rhyme was first recorded in print in an issue called Songs for the Nursery. In which year? Now then, Songs for the Nursery was the first place that they found in print the words to 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Which year? Which year? Now that's slowed him down.
Yes.
I knew that was slowing down a bit.
Oh, we got answer in,
we
but
got
it's
answer
not
in.
right.
It's not right. No.
Next one's not right. Oh, this
No.
is a difficult one, isn't it?
No.
Another one's not right.
I'm going to help you a bit, folks. It's earlier than any answer that's come in so far. It's earlier than the first answer. It's earlier than 1845. It's earlier than 1834. Hey, we've got a correct answer. We've got a correct answer.
What's it called?
It's called Songs for the Nursery.
Oh no! I just thought I got a really old nursery songs book with a black cat playing a cello. And I wondered if it was in there, but
Well, we've got a few correct answers coming now, and the first of them was Eddie Kay.
oh, well done, Eddie.
Eddie, you've done well there, mate. You got it. It was 1805. 1805. To think that was put into print. Now, obviously, it was around a long time before that. Because they were the kind of songs people just passed from parent to child, parent to child, parent to child. But they wrote them down, and 215 years ago, it was in print. There you go.
It's a long time.
There you go. Now then, what happens next?
Right, next.
Got any more finds?
Yes, now what should we do? Because it's nearly 1:45. Should we do our finds from the beach now? Give up on...
Well, I've got one more question based on the mountain, so I'll do my last couple of finds off the mountain.
Okay, and then we'll go on to my
Because-
little tub of magic from the beach.
Yep, because we've got a lovely bit of blue. There we go. We've got that gorgeous bit of pottery there. I haven't got the other half at the moment. It's in the bag. But that was one of those that had been run over by something and snapped, because we had 2 up there that were snapped in half, and we found the 2 halves together.
Yes, Hawkeye, we are live now.
Yes, and will be for the rest of the night.
At this rate.
And there's that lump of marble that Caroline suspects was a stone out of a larder, because that was their idea of a fridge. They would put the butter and cheese on a cold stone, the meat on a cold stone, because we're in quite a hot house here at the moment, But the temperature of that, you can feel that, can't you, love? And
Still cold.
It's still cold. So it's used as a cold stone. But what we did find up there, but it's probably on Caroline's side,
All right.
was, but it doesn't matter because it was a tile. And I just want to ask a question on a tile, which I'm going to do.
This one?
Aha.
Oh, we've shown that one, haven't we?
Yeah, we showed that last week. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter.
I'm confused now because we've had one show go wrong.
Right, we did find some pieces of tile. To be honest, we've got a piece of tile coming up on the next one. What if we switch over? I'll show this one.
Go on, then you show that one.
So now we're into this video from Aberporth. This is about the most boring piece of tile you could find. In fact, I don't believe that piece of tile has ever been on a wall.
No, it doesn't look
Because there's a score line there, which obviously didn't work. So I reckon the guy scored the line and then snapped it and it broke and he threw it away. And somehow it ended up in the rubbish, then it ended up in the river. And why on earth have we bothered to bring it on here? Because there's the company that made it.
Is that showing?
Johnson. You see it there, folks?
There we go, Johnson. What was the chances of finding a Johnson tile when we were mudlarking?
We found that on our first visit into the river at Aberporth.
Oh, Derek. Derek is coming in thick and fast with the jokes. He said Velcro's a rip-off.
Oh.
Very good.
Oh dear.
Right, anyway, sorry, I distracted you. What's your question?
So, I'm not going to do it because I haven't done my monkey.
Okay.
So I have 2 tile-related questions. Two. The first one is related to Johnson's tiles themselves. Right. Johnson's tiles was founded in 1901. It is still a market leader and still producing tiles in the UK, which is a pretty rare thing these days to be making stuff in the UK. What was the original Colonel H. Johnson's Christian name? I'll give you a clue. It began with H. Colonel H. Johnson, the guy who started it 120 years ago, 119 years ago. What was his first name?
Oh, no, I'd have got it wrong. No, isn't that a short name for something else?
I don't know. Yeah, it could be. But that's his name. Oh, we got some interesting choices.
Herbert, Howard, Harold, Horatio, Harry,
Henry, Harland,
yes, or Harland.
Harry, Henry, Harry.
Now, is Harry short for Henry?
I don't know, but
I'm not sure.
Prince Harry is Harry, isn't he?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, all I can tell you is, whether it's short or not, this guy is listed in Google as Colonel Harry Johnson.
There we go.
Which means our first person in was him again, wasn't it?
It was him again.
It was him again, wasn't it?
Henry Harlow,
He was, wasn't it?
Humphrey, Henry
It's the
Harrison.
phantom thumbs down man, gentleman of
the
the
man who's given
north.
us more thumbs down than anyone in the world.
The man who's showing off his knowledge of the potteries in Yorkshire, even when the pieces are found down in West Wales, Mr. Tom Burley. So,
well done, Tom.
Right, well, here we go. I'll give you my second tile-related question.
Brace yourselves.
This one is because of the tiles we found on the mountain. That one was because of the tile down there. Hand-painted tiles go back thousands of years. Thousands of years. But mass-produced transfer-printed tiles began with a printer by the name of John Sadler and his partner, Guy Green. Sadler stated that without the aid of assistance of any person or persons, I did, within the space of 6 hours, print upwards of 1,200 tiles of different patterns.
Ooh.
That's pretty good going. When you think they had painted each pattern on before that.
What do you think? He had 12,000 different patterns?
1,200.
1,200 different patterns?
He said, I printed 1,200 tiles of different patterns. Now, he made that claim and he signed an affidavit to the fact that it was true. In what year? In what year did Mr. John Sadler make the claim that he had managed to produce 1,200 plus tiles in 6 hours with no help with different patterns?
Derek James had asked me what my name is. Did you get that one? No problem. Some of these questions are really difficult. Norma said Harry is short for Henry.
There we are then.
Because my grandfather, his name was something Henry, or Henry was his first name. I just knew him as Grancher. And I'm pretty sure some people called him Harry. Right, so there we go. Have you got
we have
got a winner? Have you got a winner?
Number 3, third in line with the correct answer is Lexi. Crafty Caravanners, you're doing well to come second today because you came in second, because guess who's at the top? It is the man who knows it all. Our friend and yours, Mr. Tom Burley.
Well done again, Tom.
Hey.
Right then, shall we do, what's the time? It's nearly 10 to 10.
Yep, so we're on to the finds down at the river now.
Yep. Now, I'll show you quickly my marble. I don't think it's a really old one.
No, I don't.
No, it looks, it's rough, so it's been in the water a while, but I don't think it's like an antique marble, but it was a really nice find because you don't find many marbles. And then I'll show you my mystery item. It's this. Now, somebody has said maybe it was off beds, you know, the brass bed headsteads, whatever you call them, and then you would screw the like knob thing on the top
would
there.
Makes sense until you look round that side.
But it's got a hole there, so
quite a large hole as well. That's bigger than you to run for a wire, unless they.
The old-fashioned wires were quite thick.
I tell you what, before they started burying the wires, early electric one went in cup hooks, and then they put conduit along the ceiling. Like a metal pipe with the cable in, so that might have brought a metal pipe. The cable come down, and it was like, mind you, I got to be honest, using copper to run an electric item would seem strange because it's so conductive of the electricity.
Yeah.
But anybody out there knows for sure what that is?
Maybe it is off a bedstead though, because like maybe that went on, but a crossbar went in, so maybe it is.
Ah, yes. Now, could be crossbar.
Wait a minute. Red BH said oil lamp. Now that's and there's no thread, so maybe that means it's not. I'm not sure. It could be, yeah, because they would have the little turny thing there, which would come out there. Another interesting thought.
Now, Derek was saying that the Northern Mudlarks call them German marbles.
Right.
So there we go.
Oh,
I tell you what, you pick up some phrases listening to other folks.
Yes.
As I was saying on the one beach, you know, I didn't know. If I hadn't watched the Scottish Mudlarkers before we went away, I wouldn't have known what a wishing stone was. And then I found 2, which will turn up in films that we do. And hagstones, I wouldn't know what they were if it wasn't for the Northern Mudlarkers mentioned it. Different people have got different terms for things. And I'm still... What is pirate glass? Is it black glass? Because I've heard a few people now, few of the videos we've watched, people refer to, oh, this is pirate glass. So if you know what's meant by pirate glass, let me know, because maybe I'll find it. And I didn't know. I
think it was Kyle said, oh, Lexi, thank you. We got a $4.99 super chat off Lexi.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't worry, Lexi. I'll say you were first at the next question.
You're not taking bribes now.
You do realise that Tom has got about 70% of the questions right. He was the first in with the super chat tonight. Everybody's going to think he bribed me.
Yes, he's been buying the questions off it.
I can assure you, it is all above board here. This is not... There is no cash for questions here.
Well, there's no cash prize either, so
no,
it's hard.
We leave that in Parliament. None here.
I think it was Kyle said maybe that was a hole made afterwards accidentally. But if you have a look, there does seem to be... Hang on, I got a panda on the screen now. There does seem to be... It's very well cut. So it does look like it was put there by somebody who had a tool to cut it. So I don't know. It's a mystery, isn't it?
It's a mystery.
Do love a good mystery.
It's a mystery.
You mustn't sing. You mustn't sing.
I thought I'd made that up. It's
no,
real song,
you
is
haven't,
it?
yes.
Oh, dear me.
Phil sings the most obscure songs. Sometimes we get up in the morning and I'm like, what are you singing? He's got this whole catalogue of weird and wonderful songs in his head.
I thought I was making it up.
No.
Didn't know it was real. Right, I want to show you 3 pieces of pottery from down on our finds. And the reason I want to show them is because they're really, really boring. No.
Before you do, I'm going to interrupt you. Bottle Digging with Kyle said, it's very dark green glass, it's very early, maybe made before 1900.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
very,
Kyle.
very dark. Because I thought it looked almost black when they picked it up, on the thing. So
Christina said, Pyroglass, very old bottles that came off pirate ships.
Ooh.
Oh, and Amanda Bell says Scottish Mudlarks have a video about Pyroglass. We'll have to look at it. Settle down. It was
them I heard you use the term, I think.
Yeah, so if they got a full video to explain it, that'll be good.
Right. This one I like. It's got just a little bit of a pattern to it, a little rim to it. It's got nothing. But see, you can tell by looking at that, that is a smashed piece that would have been...
That's a smashed pie.
They are smashed as well now. Excuse me, the thing is, the knife was in there and it's just virtually... look how near that was to going through my foot. It
landed on Phil's foot.
That just landed on my foot.
Put that up there.
Luckily, it landed not point down. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here now, carrying on like a trooper with a hole in my
Blood
foot.
spurting everywhere.
But that was smashed. And obviously, it had real sharp edges. But see how beautifully that's been worn down by the river. I find that so nice. The texture on that is lovely. See that, love? See? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Like
no,
a
this
very
one,
fine piece of chocolate.
This one's not as smooth, but I loved the crazing on that. Can you see it there? I think it'll actually pick up here because it's so clear. The crazing, I think that is gorgeous. That sign of age. I think that's really nice. I like that. And this one, this was absolutely ponking and virtually black with dirt. And then I cleaned it up, and I cannot for the life of me figure out what that is.
No, it's quite blobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
One bit. Maybe it's a cloud.
I think it's an elephant.
An elephant.
A blue elephant.
You think so?
Yeah, his legs are nearest, his trunk is nearest my finger, and his legs, see if I can do this now. There, that's his legs, his back legs, and that's his head and trunk. And he's obviously
his middle bit.
Well, there's a big, it's been washed off, isn't it? It's covered in stains. It would have been wool, and he's wearing a nightie because you can see the frilly collar. Look, it's an elephant with a frilly collar on. It's a blue elephant.
Yes.
But am I the only one who can see that that's a blue elephant?
Yes.
Come on, folks. Now's the time to own up. If you can see the blue elephant, you say.
Oh, Mary Beth sees the elephant.
Yeah. It's walking that way.
Kathy Caravan says it looks like a couple of blobs.
Oh, that's because you've got no soul. It's an elephant. It's an elephant. His back end, his front end, and his middle's been wiped out by the river.
Anne agrees with you.
Here we go. That's an elephant.
Well, Norma71 said Pyroglass glass looks black, but when you hold it up to the light, you see its truer colour. We found some glass, you hold it up to the light, and there's nothing coming through at all. I know it's rough as well, but I think it's so opaque, so I don't know whether that would count.
If you wanted to count, dear, it counts.
Oh, right, okay,
That's what I always say.
Right then.
Should we have mail time?
Mail time. You're going to have to remind me.
Well, no, I can't remind you. Just do the jingle.
I haven't got the jingle. I still can't find my
You
mail
haven't got a
time
jingle for mail time?
No.
Right. There's no jingle for mail time.
No.
But we're having
mail time.
We're having mail time, and Caroline doesn't know we're having mail time because Caroline doesn't know we've had mail. Because I intercepted the mail before we went on holidays because Julianne has sent you a present.
Oh.
She has said that she wanted to send you a present, not only because she loves our mudlarking, but also she finds your art inspirational and she thinks it's wonderful.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I went outside, intercepted the man, hid the item in the car, took it all the way to Harbour Post so that we could do mail time last week. Then I had to hide it again without Caroline knowing, sneak it in the luggage, bring it all the way home, and that's why I went to get my glasses earlier on, because I remembered where I'd hidden it and I had to go and dig it out.
Lucky you remembered.
So, yes, there's mail time.
Oh, ooh, there's a bit of excitement.
There you go.
Right, it's flat.
It's flat.
It's soft.
It's soft.
It's a bit of paper. No? Is it a message on this? A gift from Julianne. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you both for keeping our minds on so much more than the current circumstances. You have entertained so many and have helped us all to find a new path, hobby, or encouraged us to get back into our art. Thankful from Julie S. Is it Estes or Est? Estes, I would imagine. Thank you so much, Julie. Oh, that's really... Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look, see what it is.
Thank you, and she don't even know what's in there.
It's like Christmas. It's in a plastic bag. Here it comes. Oh, is this what I think it is?
Is this what you think it is?
Oh. Let's have a look. Oh, it is what I think it is.
And
oh, wow, look, I got Penelope Pitstop gloves. Now, if anybody saw our last video, it's almost getting embarrassing.
To be honest,
on my gloves.
when Caroline was editing the video, I heard her say on there, my gloves are starting to get quite tatty.
Oh, Bottleburger just subscribed.
That's fantastic. Thank you. That's one more towards our 5,000.
Oh, look at that. Oh, they're really soft and posh. Ooh.
There we are. And there we are. You can stop worrying, Jill, because Jill was really worried they wouldn't fit.
Oh, they fit like a glove.
They fit like a glove.
Apparently, driving gloves are supposed to be really skin tight because that way then you get to feel the control of your steering wheel.
Which is why Caroline likes using them when she's mudlarking, because...
And they hold up without doing these up, because I don't always do those up because my gloves on, gloves off, so they still hold on.
But they are exactly...
They are perfect.
What I couldn't get was the exact pink, but I'm wondering if the others had faded down because they didn't have them in pink. So there we go. Oh. I can smell the leather, yeah.
Oh, they are really lovely. Oh, thank you ever so much. Oh, there we go. I can leave these on for the rest of the show now. Right, let's have a look, see what's going on.
There we go. So there we are. It was mail time, but Caroline was looking at me stupid because...
I was thinking, I can't remember mail time.
Caroline couldn't remember any mail, but the Amazon man was coming and I said, excuse me, mate, are you going to our house? And he said, yeah. I said, if you just put them on top of the car, I'll pick it up. And then I hid them in the glove compartment, which seemed the right place to hide them. And they have been to Avonporth and back.
Well, they're well travelled. They're really nice.
I tell you what, I've worked hard on keeping that a surprise. But still, there we go, Liv.
Right, I'm
ready for your next.
Take off, because I'm getting really hot now.
Right
one problem I get with gloves is that they do lots of really nice fleecy lined ones, but they're no good in the water because the fleece gets all wet and horrible. And then they're uncomfortable. So there we go. They're lovely. Thank you ever so much.
Like I say, I don't know if Julie's in tonight or whether she catches up later. She may be one of those who has to catch up later because of work, etc. But there we are. She said she was sending them. She contacted me to try and arrange it all. So what I did was I put them on my wish list, my personal wish list, so that she could access them and order them without you knowing. They weren't. We have Let's Go with the Johnsons as an Amazon wish list, but so that Julie could surprise Caroline, I've got one for the family, which they all find hysterical because they reckon I've got the most boring wish list in the world. But it does have big Toblerones and multiple bars
floppy
of
top
Yorkie,
socks,
floppy top socks, black t-shirts, the sorts of things you need in life. A pen. You know, if I get a boring Christmas, it's because they all bought off my wish list. But I put those on my wish list so that Julie could take them off there, order the items.
Very
was. I tell you what, this has been a major event we've been working on, and I did it all keeping a straight face.
But you intercepted Her Majesty's Royal Mail.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you. Oh no, you didn't. It was Amazon.
Amazon, they don't count.
You're okay. Yeah.
They're only once.
You get arrested.
They're only half inch. They're only half inch. What do you mean? This morning he brought something and he said, "Oh," because they all know me. So he said, "Oh, this is for you. Safe walking down our drive." So I said, "Put it on top of the car." I always say, put it on top of the car, I'll move it from there.
I think we're all getting to know the Amazon man. We buy lots of things from there because I don't like going to the shops at the moment.
Well, there's a lot of things we can't get because when you're in lockdown, if you need a present, if you need a gift, if something breaks down, in lockdown, the shops are all closed. So it makes it very difficult. Right, do you want another question?
Let's have another question.
Another question, because it's gone 10 o'clock.
Couldn't find the webcam button now.
Quite a few people have commented on how beautiful the bridges were. My bridge was more beautiful than yours.
Yes.
Because your bridge had a big concrete bridge over the top.
Mine was more functional.
Now, the interesting thing was, I looked into this, and the reason they put a concrete thing over the top of yours was in order to widen the road.
Ah.
And they used the original arch bridge as the major support. They ran girders and poured concrete, and they got the original bridge to hold the concrete extension. So it shows just how strong those arches are. Of course, they left it narrow further up, so my bridge wasn't so distorted. Now, it has to be said, and I pointed this out to Caroline when she did the editing, the Romans do take the credit for arches, building arches.
Yes,
they do.
Discussion going on here.
They take the credit for arch building, and in fairness, they were prolific in its use, and they did develop the techniques. The argument is, did they invent the keystone or not? And you can't have an arch without a keystone, so they couldn't have invented. They may have refined the use of arches, but actually they were improving on the achievements of the Etruscan civilization. Etruscan. 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 Or Etruscan. And those folks...
Tom!
Those folks reached their sort of heights of civilization 6 centuries BC, well before the Romans. The Romans took over their lands and adopted many features of their culture, including the games and the gladiators. In which country was Etruria?
Right, Tom's already got the answer in hours ago.
Yeah, but he didn't get it right.
No, and then Norma's in with Egyptians.
In which country was the Etruscan civilization? All right, in which country?
So they...
Yeah.
Oh! And Barbara said what Tom said. Ooh. Hi,
hello,
Nick
Nick,
and Andrea.
Right. Yeah, we're supposed to finish 5 minutes ago, but we're doing a double session, so you're all right. We've still got 3 questions to go.
Right.
We're looking for the country in which the Etruscan civilization was based. In which country is Etruria?
Right, and so let's have a look. If I show you on mine there, it is
right
there because one
now,
answer has been retracted.
Somebody got the answer right and retracted it. Antoinette.
Put it back on quick.
Antoinette got it right and retracted it. Then the next person to get it right was Rachel.
Well done, Rachel.
And quickly followed by Natasha and Mary Beth and Permy Bird.
And Phyllis said Etrusca Cumboy. Oh, this Abercumboy thing is starting to get
Rufus got a lot to answer for.
Though.
I tell it, we have to go mudlarking.
We're going to find
if they haven't got a river,
Abercumboy.
we'll just go and dig up Rufus's lawn and do metal detecting just to go to Abercumboy.
Yes. I don't think, does Rufus live in Abercumboy?
I don't know, but he's always knocking
like...
it, so I'm assuming he couldn't be that cruel to a place that he doesn't actually live in.
Right.
Yes, it is Italy. Now, because they weren't far from the Roman Empire. Them Italians got a lot to answer for, you know. So the Romans rose up, took over from, or conquered the Etruscans along with 3/4 of the world, and adopted many of their cultural ideas, but also some of their building ideas. And they were big on arches too. But not as big as the Romans.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. What we got now? What's next?
Lexi said, my dog thinks she's called Italy. She's called Tilly, but the amount of times you say, you're Tilly, she responds to Italy. Oh, poor dog. She's very cosmopolitan. Do you remember this?
There it is, folks.
That.
We need the answer. How many? You can all vote. Is that marine mollusks, or is that a dragon's fossilised footprint? You see there? 1, 2, 3 toes, and there's part of the pad. You know, not that I'm being biased and saying it's a dragon's footprint, but there we go. Dragon's footprint or marine mollusks. It was near the sea, but it was in a river. It was near a forest. Because Bill was saying, strange to have a hunting knife under a road, you know. Well, 1, it may have been used for something other than hunting. 2, it was right next door to where a fisherman was storing all of his lobster pots and everything, so he may have lost it. And 3, the river was running through a wood. So this could have washed down from the wood. Washing down makes more sense than washing up. we were up the river, up the brook in the estuary, near the woods, when we found what can only be described as the first ever dragon's footprint. There we go.
A lot of people are agreeing. Christina Hines said a large dog. Lexi said
no fun in that.
dragon's footprint, Wales is full of them. Jill said clearly a dragon's footprint. Nick said love some Roman architecture. We went to Ephesus a few years back. Stunning.
Doreen's son went to Ephesus. Remember he brought the book back of it, and it was absolutely incredible. Yes, they got some wonderful things out there.
Yeah, I think. Eddie said it's a Great Dane's footprint, lol.
But he'd have to be a prehistoric Great Dane because it's a fossilised one.
Cody said it's a fish footprint. We do have strange animals sometimes around the place, but it'd be a very weird one with a fish footprint.
I tell you what, that's some interesting comments. I've had people there. They've totally convinced me. The fossil history is there. The skeletal history is there. Dragons were real.
And there we go then.
Yeah. Otherwise, Wales wouldn't be over there. And in fact, sorry, I'm running out of breath now. Just to prove that the possibilities, someone did point out that Caroline's stone that she picked up could be a tooth. A dragon's tooth. That's what they're thinking.
It would be made of stone, wouldn't it? Because they were.
It would be now because it's petrified. Because the wizard might have turned him into stone. Because some of those caves they didn't half look like they had dragons in them.
They did.
Stone dragons. So there we are. Dragon's tooth.
Nick said a Stone Age mudlarker's footprint. It could be. He'd have been a very big mudlarker, wouldn't he, with feet that big?
Oh, there we are. Look, there's a dragon's bone.
Why not?
There we go. Look at that. Ancient bone as well. You don't see bone on you very often.
Oh wow, Jenny said the Amman River runs around Abercrombie. I think it's the only one. Right, we're going to have to go to the Amman River to Abercrombie.
And find some Ammonites.
And you have to be patient with us if we don't find anything in Abercrombie, but we just got to go, haven't we?
Yeah, if we got an Amman River, then we can have the Ammonites. We spell it with a K. And we can have a dragon up there as well. The Ammonites and the dragons.
Tom said fossils can be fairly young. I found mineralised bones which were butchered and probably from a 1930s dump.
I suppose bones, yeah.
It's definitely been butchered, hasn't it? Yeah. It's not broken.
Bones
it's too
do
flat.
tend to change
Cody
composition.
Said, pipe stem from a dragon.
Oh yeah. Who's that fella that used to go like that? He used to say, at my age, I'm just glad to be anywhere.
Oh, I can't remember. What was
Burns,
his name?
was it? George Burns?
Something like that, wasn't it?
George Burns used to say, I'm so glad to be here. At my age, I'm just glad to be anywhere.
Oh, Lexi said, have you been to the petrified well at Mother Shipton's cave? No.
Ooh, I tell you, Mother Shipton.
Oh, Jenny said, if you follow it up, you'll end up in Cumberland and I'll put the kettle on. So I mean, especially on a cold, wet, windy day, which... But in Wales, they're always cold, wet, windy days.
Yes, and for those who've said, lovely video, despite the rain, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, it gets worse.
You wait till we get to Aberystwyth, folks.
We're just hoping the videos will hold together.
We've got a few more videos to
rain.
edit, but we don't know how much sound we're going to get because we were in gales, weren't we? But we're hoping we get away with it. I was sheltering, I was hiding in cubbyholes, doing pieces to camera. And we were doing roundups in sort of caves and ditches. It was fantastic fun.
Norma said, of course, dragons are real. Modern scientists now call them dinosaurs. And Christina said there was a dinosaur found recently that is so well preserved it's more of a mummy than a fossil.
Wow.
Right.
Well, they found a mammoth, didn't they? Frozen up in the ice as well. They found a frozen mammoth up in the ice. Well, here's a dragon question.
Oh, a dragon question. Dragon question coming up.
And it's an historical dragon question that requires you to come up with a date. Ooh. So we're talking real dragon, because we're talking Welsh flag.
All right.
The Welsh flag incorporates the red dragon of Cadwaladr, and he was the King of Gwynedd, along with the Tudor colours. Didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Green and white were the Tudor colours of Henry VII, Henry Tudor, who founded the Tudor dynasty, and of course his more famous Henry that came after him was Henry VIII, the one with all the wives and all the stuff that went on there. But it was used, that flag with the dragon and the colours, the flag of the dragon was used by Henry VII in the battle that took place at Bosworth, which I believe is where he defeated Richard III. who they've recently found in a car park on the battle site. He was under a car park. They found the body of Richard III. That was back in 1485. So if you've got 1485, wrong date.
No, nobody's guessed yet.
After which they carried the flag and they put it in state at St. Paul's Cathedral. But when was the flag officially recognised as the Welsh national flag? In 1485, it was carried by the king into battle at Bosworth. He was victorious.
Wow.
But in what year did they officially recognise it? It wasn't 1485.
We got a right answer, a wrong answer, and a wrong answer, but in which order? We got 3 answers in.
Yeah, one of them's right.
One of them's right, but which one is right? Who are you all going to bet on? Are you going to bet on Mo, Tom, Burley, or Dawn Zed?
Yeah,
which one's right?
And we've got we've had another correct answer in.
Right.
We've had 3 correct answers, and the third of those was Lexi. The second up was Antoinette, and the top of the tree is Mo.
Well done, Mo.
Mo. Yes, our friend from Ireland. She knows her Welsh history. Just across the water, see?
Yep.
We could have waved.
We could have.
We could have waved if it wasn't for all that fog and mist and rain. We could have waved. Because there's only one place to go when you're in Aberporth. If you step in the water, you got to keep going until you get to Ireland. And if you miss Ireland, you're in trouble because the next stop is New York. There we go, folks. That's where we
did you know?
Did I know?
Bit of insider information.
I probably
that
didn't.
Lexi loves Aberystwyth because she went to uni there.
Right. We had our son's friend went to Aberystwyth, didn't he?
Not sure.
He used to call us mum and dad Julian.
Everybody used to call us mum and dad.
Okay, that is true. We actually ended up in an ice cream parlour in Tenby with about 9 youngsters because our son was driving at the time. 2 carloads went down, and admittedly one of them was a son-in-law. 4 of them were our children. The rest were nothing to do with us. Every one of us calling us mum and dad. There was like 11 of them in the blinking
Always had a house full of kids.
And I had to finish off all their ice creams for them because they couldn't eat it all.
It was really stressful.
What I do is I buy a Knickerbocker Glory, and when the kids can't eat it all, I just tip it in. I have an eternal Knickerbocker Glory. It takes me hours, but I thoroughly enjoy it. So well done, Mo. Well done. It was 1959. And actually, it was an intervention by the Queen.
Oh.
Yeah, the Queen chose to recognise the flag. Because, of course, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that the Union Jack doesn't incorporate anything of the Welsh flag. But the reason for that is that when the Union was formed and the flag was created of the Union, Wales had no status at that time because we were a conquered nation. So we didn't join the Union. We were almost like a suburb of England. That's how we were treated at that time. It's only in recent times that the battle for independence has reached the point where we now have our own assembly, such as Ireland does, and of course Scotland has their own parliament, and we have devolution. We're all part of the United Kingdom, and now Wales has got the recognition, and having their own flag of state was part of that recognition which the Queen gave. There we go. Oh, I tell you what, you learn it all, you learn it all. I'm waving from my window.
Oh, if we were still in Aberporth, I'd wave back more. We could probably see you as well on a clear day.
I tell you
we're
what.
We're back in the Welsh Valleys now, so too many mountains.
As soon as this is over, I'll go and book Aberporth again, and we'll go back just to wave to you, Mo, because I'm just looking for any excuse to go back.
We'll synchronise waving, and we'll wave at 5 o'clock on a Thursday. Go, oh.
One of the best accommodations we have ever stayed at. Really, really. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Absolutely nice. Lovely. Absolutely. Only suitable for 2 people. There's only 1 bedroom, but it's upside down, so the bedroom and the bathroom are on the downstairs. You go straight up the stairs from the lobby. You've got a big living room and kitchen, but what's gorgeous is the corner double aspect. Wall of glass here, patio doors there, out onto a balcony, and literally 100 yards away is the beach of Aberporth. What's the matter? I'm dangling, am I? I'm dangling.
Oops, that doesn't help. There we go.
So, there we go.
Just dressing, Phil.
There we go. I got a find.
You got a find? Go on then.
All right. So Caroline's got a fancy knife that she found. But here's the other one she found.
It's not quite as glamorous, is it?
No.
Perfectly. You cut yourself on that one.
Tell you what I did notice though when I was washing it. Some interesting things going on with the colour in the handle.
It is, isn't it? It almost looked like coral when I first picked it up. I think it's
a marble effect or something. I don't know. But when you're washing it, it was a really bright oranges and reds and browns in there. Obviously a handle. And that's obviously some of the metal that's been all twisted up. It looks like it's been burnt. I think it's been in an ash tip. And it's been burnt or something. But that was one of our finds as well.
Right, so before we finish up then, because...
We can't finish up, I got 2 questions.
Oh, quick, let's have another question. I hope you're all okay to hang around a little bit longer.
Oh, we still got 126 in, it's worth going. We got 96 positives, thumbs ups.
There we go.
The sea was cold.
Yes.
The sea was cold. Yet, I have footage, I don't know if you got into the video, of 2 guys
no, I don't think that
who walked past me at about 6 o'clock in the evening and walked into the sea and went swimming. And also, we did see quite a number of surfers. Because, of course, although it's cold weather to us, they had their wetsuits on. They were loving it because the storm was giving them the waves. They were riding the surf. But, of course, everything is relative. We say the sea was cold, but some people choose to swim in the sea when it's cold. It's what they like to do. They even go running into the sea, I think at Porthcawl and other places on Boxing Day or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, because we saw when we were down the west coast, there was a Boxing Day swim on it, jumping in the sea. But when the farthest ice swim was recorded for a male swimmer in Germany on the 7th of February 2018, the average water temperature was 4.13 degrees centigrade, which is 39.43 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is cold.
Right.
That is cold. That's just off freezing because they are breaking the ice in order to swim down there. The question is, when they set the record that day in Germany in 2018, what was the distance that a man actually managed to stay in the water and keep swimming?
With me, it'd have been 3 seconds.
What is the distance? In kilometres or miles? And if we don't get an exact answer, I'll take to the nearest mile. But we're looking for the answer.
Oh, Tatiana said she missed Monkey Panda in the video yesterday. I know.
Yes.
We just arrived. Yes. He decided that by sitting up on the balcony, he felt like a pirate up in the crow's nest. He refused to come down. He just wanted to watch us. So he did miss the video, but he was still having a lot of fun. But
he gets into a few... He actually does some camera work. Yes. We left him in charge of the camera and he was mucking about.
I know. You'll see that coming up.
Yes, in some of the other videos, he got so excited, he took over.
Oh,
and we have got not just a near to answer, we've got a lot of near to answers, but we have got 2 spot on.
Oh, right.
2 spot on answers.
Oh, is it that the man of the amazing thumbs down again?
And it's Lexi came second.
Tom
Burley came first. The answer was 2.14 miles.
Well done.
Which I've got to be honest is a long way
I couldn't say
in water where they are literally smashing ice in order to swim.
Oh, I can't think of much worse.
Yeah, temperature of 4 degrees Celsius and at 0 is freezing, isn't it? And it was 4 degrees, virtually nothing above. So there we go. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Right, and do you want me to show my last find and do my last question and then you can round up?
Okay then, go on then.
Right, my last find linked to a question. Of course, what better way for me to go out than say, I found a brick. And for those who've watched the video, you'll know that LBC doesn't stand from Llangollen. It doesn't stand for Llanelli or Llandudno. It stands for London. Yes, we went to the west coast of Wales, next stop island, and found a brick from London.
As you do.
And there's my LBC, which is London Broadcasting Company, but it's also London Brick Company. And there you got that word for press, which you understand, don't you?
Yeah, you see some different way they found of pressing the bricks, and they pressed the bricks 4 times, so they called it 4 press, but spelt it with a PH to be a little bit edgy.
Ooh, edgy. Ooh, edgy.
Interesting though that we do have bricks brought in from other places in the country and of the United Kingdom then, because we don't have a lot of clay here, so we can't make the bricks, but we have, most of our houses are built in stone, but then around the windows are done in bricks, so they'd have to import those from somewhere that did have clay. So that is why we tend to find some bricks from England.
Well, we had a ready available stone that was, so they built all the houses, Caroline said, but of course there were some seams of clay up on the heads of the valley, and that's where they used the bricks was when they developed the mine buildings, where they were building the buildings on the collieries.
I don't think they could have possibly got enough clay for the amount of bricks that they needed, because at one point the housing here just boomed. When they opened the collieries, the coal mines, it just went crazy. They were just building, and they just couldn't keep up with demand.
The Newport Brick Company could bring clay in on the port and things and stuff like that. So you had the big ones like Star of Cumbraen and Newport and things like that. So here it is, a brick-related final question of the night. Did we have any jingle for that?
No. Oh. We'll go straight to it, go on.
No, I refuse to ask a question without a jingle.
Okay, then we'll have a jingle.
The London Brick Company owes its origins to John Hill. He built houses in London and Peterborough. He was an architect and developer. And that was in 1889. Mr. Hill bought a small brick company called T.W. Hardy's and Sons.
Right. T.W. Hardy's and Sons.
T.W. Hardy and Sons. He bought it in 1889. My question is, in what year did he incorporate the company as the London Brick Company?
Ooh.
In what year did Mr. Hill at Fletton in Peterborough incorporate the business that he bought and name it the London Brick Company?
Right.
So it's got to be after 1889. That's the clue. It's got to be after 1889.
Well, we got one right answer in. I wonder if we got the right answer. Now we got another right answer in. I wonder who that was. A lot of very good guesses. I would never have guessed anywhere near, and you're very close, a lot of you.
Very, very close.
Well done. Right, are we going to get... Yes, we got our 3 answers in now.
Yeah, in fact, we've got 4 because Adele got 1900, Bottle Digging with Kyle got 1900, Mo got 1900, but of course, first place goes to
Tom Burley,
the king of the thumbs down, Mr. Tom Burley.
We're never going to let you live that down now, Tom. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. He's gone from being the most gentle gentleman we've ever known to being the mean thumbs down man from up north.
Yes.
Yeah, it was 1900. That's it. He bought the company in 1889, and then they went big. And they built millions of houses. Literally millions of houses they provided.
My cherry.
And they shipped them all around the place. So that's the questions over. Have you anything to do before we finish?
Yes, I'm going to show you all our sort of star find of the Mudlark when we were at Aberporth, and it's this, which I thought it was just going to be a snapped off handle. And then I found it was the whole thing. Now, it's not very sharp. This has been in the water a long time. But it hasn't rusted much, so it must be some sort of stainless steel on the blade.
And there's an alloy on the handle, I would say.
Yes, I would say that's not stainless steel.
Alloy forged handle with antler on
Yeah, that's antler. So it's a nice thing. You can see, it's not... If I turn it that way as well.
And they're not glued on, that's riveted through. They've got old rivets through there as well. So it's a good few years old.
I think I'm going on it was a fisherman's knife and he dropped it one day from his boat. No, I'm not keen on knives, so I'm going to put it down now because I tend to... If you looked at my hands closely, I am covered in little tiny scars from a mixture of knives, scissors, when I used to cut the dog's fur, I was always cutting my fingers, and corned beef tins. Now, in the UK, our corned beef is very different to the corned beef in the US, and they're square, and you have to turn a key, and you end up with this really long, thin sliver of razor-sharp metal, and either side on the tins is razor-sharp, and the number of times I've cut myself. Once, we'd been married about 5 years, and I opened a tin of corned beef. I cut myself so badly I passed out in the kitchen. It was really deep.
Yes, you would. Caroline does pass out when needles used to make you pass out.
Yes,
didn't they?
I'm over that now. I can handle needles, but wow, that was it. I think it was through to the bone. I could see something white in there, like ooh, but I survived.
Yeah, because somebody comments, well, that's a silly thing to say that you don't like knives. And I said, no, it's not that silly. Because when Karen says she don't like knives, she don't like corned beef tins either.
No.
It's down to the fact, as she said in the video, because she does tend to be, and this is not derogatory, some people are more clumsy than us, and Caroline does have accidents. She does have accidents, so we keep her away from the sharp objects, unless she's concentrated. But yeah, quite a nice item, you know. It is nice. It was a lovely find. It certainly was. Other than the dragon's foot, that was the find of the day, I think. And I hope you've enjoyed the night, because we've had an hour and a half.
Said corned beef tins aren't as lethal as Frey Bentos pie tins, and the lid never comes out. You cut it off, and you end up trying to stick your nail under to pull the stupid thing up because you can't get a fork in because there's no room, and then next thing you know, you've cut your fingers again.
Well, actually, when that person commented, he said, "Oh, so does Phil open everything? Does Phil do all the chopping?" And the truth is, no. But what Phil does do is open all the Frey Bentos tins,
yes, I don't touch
and I open corned beef. Caroline's had so many accidents with those two. I do those every time, don't I because it's just not worth the risk of Caroline hurting herself, because they are lethal.
Yeah.
Those things are lethal. And I tell you what's lethal as well is these modern tin openers that cut the lid that way.
Oh yes, they leave a really sharp edge.
So they take the whole top off, and you're left with the whole top is razor sharp. That, I think, is a step backwards in the invention of things. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, folks, we've kept 129 of you up until 10:30 UK time.
It's go to bed.
Wonderful. 110 people have given us thumbs up. All bar 3 have retracted their thumbs down.
Yes.
Yes. So it's been fantastic. It's great to be back with you.
It is, and thank you for putting up for us. Thank you for putting up with us last week, and thank you for joining us again this week. So we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun.
Bye.